the one piece of career advice that you wish someone had given you when you were just starting out?
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot actually.
Yeah.
I think there's not just one piece, but I think if I had to pick one, it would be that everyone you meet, professionally or even personally, everyone you meet has something that you can learn. Um, and maybe it's a technical skill if it's a senior or a specialist or something that you're working with, and maybe it's a soft skill, like how you like the way that they do presentations, or the way that they persuade people or argue is really good, or even just understanding how business works. Um, maybe the only thing you can learn from them is how to deal with difficult people. Maybe you can learn, okay, I won't build it like you did. But either way, you're always taking something away from the time that you make for them, that you spend with them. And I think if you have that mentality, it allows you to be more empathetic, and that means you come off as, I guess, more confident rather than arrogant, because you're always there willing to see what this person can teach you, what they have a value for you.
And I guess off the back of that, can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that made a significant impact?
Yeah, mine's actually negative. I've previously worked in we'll say, a government role, and I'd been there in the same role for 7 years, which nowadays is a pretty long tenure in the tech sphere. And I'd applied for 4 or 5 different jobs whilst in that role, and they were either promotions or sideways movements, and I'd been rejected for the latest one. And it was a sideways move. It wasn't even, a higher salary or anything like that. It was just, something that I was going for. And I realized sort of like then and there that I'd been pigeonholed into a set of skills, and the organization I was working for had no incentive for me to go anywhere or do anything else. Like, why would they want that? They were getting exactly what they wanted out of me. And I realized that, well, to put it bleakly, I was never getting out of there. Unless I took control of my own development, so really said, okay, this company, this organization, they're never going to provide me the next step. I have to figure out what that is, and that might mean that I have to learn some more skills or open myself up to different opportunities. But it wasn't just going to come to me. I had to go and get it. And since then, that's something that I try to, I guess, instill with everyone I work with. That the company wants you, or the group that you work for, they're very happy for you to just keep doing what you're doing, because that's what you're there for. But for us to be happy, for us to progress and grow, then we have to be getting something out of our job that's not just a paycheck. And there's many things that might be, but there's always got to be something else, I think, that you've got to look for there.
Perfect. So you just got to take your career in your own hands and make that change.
Yeah, maybe it's not your career. Maybe you don't have that clear an idea of where you're going with it, but you have to have, you have to have a clear idea in your head of what it is that job is giving you. That's more than just the money that you're taking home. Maybe it's giving you the flexibility for your family to grow up, and something like that. Maybe it's giving you the salary for you to travel and explore and do other things. So those things are all fine as well. It doesn't have to be the next opportunity. But if you're just there to do the labor and go home with the money, then I think pretty soon you'll find that you're there forever. You're a lifer.
How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
I think for me, the first step is recognizing when you failed. A big thing in our industry is accountability laundering. There's a team, or it's an organization. It's not your fault because the marketing was bad, or it's not your fault because it was snowed under with tech debt, or some other team had some conflict over it. And those things might be true, but if you're honest with yourself and with others, you can sort of look at the degree of accountability you have. So maybe you couldn't have fixed the marketing. That's not your job. Maybe you couldn't have fixed the tech debt from the system that you inherited, but you do have some influence and control over it. And if you can recognize that, then you can really identify what went wrong, or in the case of an upcoming challenge, that gives you the ability to identify what's really going to be difficult about this challenge. What are the bits that you're confident in, and what are the bits that you're not confident in. And once you know those things, once you identify those things, you can dismantle them, organize them, and tackle them just like you would any project. It's just progress. And I think, I guess it's sort of a reflection of my first answer there. If you focus on what did you get out of that failure, that setback, then you'll always have better chance at the next opportunity. Like, why did that go wrong? What can I take into the next step? And yeah, I guess I think you've got to make some failures to become confident. Otherwise, you're just coming off as arrogant. I think those setbacks are very important.